How do you do? My name is Vinay Deobhakta. I'm the director and the creator of A Fighter's Mind podcast. Please take a seat. I'd like to extend my hand to you in time and space, which means no matter what year it is, I'd like to think that we've just made an eternal connection. Welcome and enjoy the interview. Well, here we are. I'm with Vince Cocurullo. Very pleased to meet you, Vince. Now, you're very well known in New Zealand, but for my viewers offshore, particularly Australia, and a few I noticed over the last week, the Philippines. Thank you very much for tuning in. And of course, the UK. Just give us a little intro. Who you are, Vince?
I'm Vince Cocurullo. I used to be the Mayor of Whangarei. I've been on council, I've been in the IT business for 25 years. Before that, I was a civil engineer. And I've been on council as a councillor and also as the Mayor.
Wow. Well, the reason why I came along and saw you, I was in the country, I said 6 months ago, I had a lot of work here, a particular matter I needed to work on. I decided I'd base myself here effectively for 6 months. And wow, that just turned out to be so cool because of the area. It's beautiful. One thing I noticed as soon as I arrived here was billboard after billboard after billboard with your face. And I thought, interesting guy. I'd like to get to know this guy more. Who is he? What does he do? So you say you used to be the mayor?
Used to be the mayor, yes.
Bring me up to date.
Okay. So I ran for the mayoralty this time round as well in 2025. And unfortunately, I was unsuccessful this time. I have a lot of my people in my community who are very upset by that. And it's one of those things which, you take it as it comes.
Well, that's good because being gracious in defeat is, as you know, one of the hallmarks of a victor, right? And so what are your plans for the future?
Well, as I said, at this present moment, we're doing the IT business. Got to make sure income always keeps coming in. And a lot of my clients are quite comfortable and quite happy that I'm back doing IT.
I bet they are. I think from the last 6 weeks in particular, I've been trying to get my ear to the ground. I've been trying to get up to date with current affairs in Whangarei. And I can honestly say that the feedback that I received from the person on the ground, so to speak, was that there were people that were surprised that you actually came second best.
That's correct.
And I wonder, has your team or have you debriefed over that?
Yeah, we've gone through a lot of the reasons and rationales why. At the end of the day, there was just a very nasty campaign against me, and that's was it. They did it through social media. They did spend a lot of money to do that. I basically capped my finances at about 20k. And I've always spent 20k on when I'm done the elections, and that's left it at that. They've spent quite a lot more than that to do that sort of campaign. At the end of the day, I've got a clear conscience. And my team have got a clear conscience. A lot of them said, we need to do this. I said, no. Let them play their dirty. We play it straight.
Wow, okay. Now, I wasn't aware of this. So are you able to say, in a nutshell, what was the what was the angle they came in on?
Yeah, it's quite simple. It's quite easy, actually. What they've done is, there was a particular councillor who is now the mayor, and we did have a couple of disputes amongst the council. One time I had to kick him out of council, out of the council chamber, because of his behaviour. And the campaign against me was basically saying, he can't run the council meeting and allows disruption all the time. Well, again, I didn't allow the disruption. I called the quits on it and asked them to move. I even shut the council meeting down while he was exiting the room, and brought him, and he was allowed to get back in after 10 minutes. I said, look, you've spoken long enough. You've disrupted the meeting. You can have a 10-minute timeout.
Well, that sounds to me as if you dealt with it professionally.
Yes.
Like a judge in a courtroom.
Correct.
Effectively, you respected the aura of the occasion. You kept it professional, solemn, and you dealt with it with the resources that you had at the time and the lawful procedures that you had up your sleeve for these kind of things.
Yeah, and also the same degree. See, the meeting was all about fluoridation and whether we allow fluoridation in the water. Because we had a directive by central government, there was a group of councillors who were concerned about the effects of fluoridation. Now, what it ended up being was the council was split 50-50.
50-50.
So there was
Difficult
half the
position.
council who was actually saying, we want the fluoridation in the water. The other half of the council was saying, no, we don't want fluoridation in the water.
I see, and that's a contentious issue here.
And that was a very contentious issue.
Right.
And as I said, I voted for the fact of upholding the anti-fluoride movement, mainly because of the fact that I wanted the public to make sure that they have realised that they've had a voice, because we did have a lot of our public very, very concerned about their health, very, very concerned about the fluoridation, and they wanted to have answers. Now, what that has done is council went going to court. It cost roughly, and I do say roughly, about $150,000 to $200,000 to do that. The anti-campaign against me was the fact that we used ratepayers' money for that.
Oh, okay. So
And the fact of the matter is we had to get answers for our community. And unfortunately, because of the time frames, because of the way things panned out, we had to, at the end of the day, because we were given a time limit of when we had to have fluoridation in, I said, and I made it very, very clear to my elected members, we will never break the law. And I made it very clear to the public, we will not break the law. However, we will push it to see if we can get answers for you as the public, because you are the ones who are concerned.
good on you. And that's what the legal system is for.
That's right.
Precisely. And I imagine that'll be one of many issues, everyday issues that
Absolutely.
people in your position
Yep.
or that position would have to deal with.
But it shows when you're dealing with inside council that you can actually, when you have a very distinct split,
Yes.
and you've worked it through with the elected members, and they are very adamant to their views.
Yes.
From time to time, you have to use the casting vote,
Good
and
on
that's the role of the mayor.
Well, that's good. And
Yep.
so you stand by that, the
Yep.
way you handled it?
Yep.
Good on you. And may I ask, and excuse my ignorance, and what was the outcome of the High Court?
The court decision was actually that we must fluoridate because that was the law. Mm-hmm. They didn't actually put any rationale or reason about it. They just basically said, this is the law, you have to do it.
Okay.
Which didn't go down with the public, and I'll be honest, a lot of the public really want answers because they don't believe that fluoridation was needed.
Yes.
So they're saying, okay, well, why do we need to put it in?
Yes. Yes. So, again, it seems to me you took it to the only reasonable avenue that you had to take it to.
Correct.
So, good on you.
But again, we must, as I said, we always must follow the law. The law is there. If we don't uphold the law, then, we're in, what sort of a situation are we in?
Absolutely. And, of course, the law is very powerful.
Yes.
So, in order to do things and get things done, you need to, as Tikuti
Yeah.
once said, the Maori leader from New Zealand in the late 1800s may have quoted something where he said, pitch the law against the law.
That's right.
I think that's what
right.
he said.
That's
If
right.
you want to change it,
Sure.
and that's the procedure. That's the way things are done. That's part of our system.
That's correct.
Speaking of system,
Yes.
I read recently that central government are looking at making some changes to local body.
Very much so. I've had a good read of all the information that's come out. It's actually really quite interesting. Now, I expected this to happen a few years ago. However, it's got to a point now where what the central government is suggesting is removing the 11 regional councils and moving a lot of their powers and responsibilities to the local councils to try and get rid of that double layer of bureaucracy.
Right.
Now, I expect there to be what they call an environmental protection authority in a lot of countries, and there's one in Auckland at the present moment, so I expect that to probably expand for the whole country. So there might be a global body which does checking up and doing that sort of things, and they'll check the air, the water, because the councils can't really do that. District councils can't. Regional councils can, district councils can't. And the reason why district councils can't is because if they're discharging into the water, how can they check themselves?
Okay.
So I expect there to be an environmental protection authority doing a checking on the councils.
Right.
But apart from that, look, I do think that the district councils can probably absorb a lot of the responsibilities that the regional council does.
I guess one of the issues may be that people out there may think that government is in fact having too much control now, or trying to get too much control over
Yep. And
you guys.
And I can see that very much coming through. As I put up a blog within LinkedIn, I made it very, very clear within LinkedIn. The key is, if you're going to make changes like this, bring the public with you. That is your number one key thing. So where a lot of regulatory or councils fall over is the fact that a district council may say, oh, you need a building consent. The regional council says, oh, you need a resource consent.
Yes.
So if one body's doing that, then that's simplifying things.
Yes.
And that's where we realistically need to make sure that
Yes.
the public are brought along with the situation, so they know all the ins and outs. I do think that it would solve a lot of the issues that councils have.
Yes. Well, that's a good statement in favour.
Yeah.
So thank you for that. Thank you for informing me of
I can
that.
see both sides, so it's not a problem.
Again, I guess, I was many years ago, I'm a bit older than you, I was asked to run for public office as well. So one of the things I learned, even as a lawyer, is at the end of the day, as a lawyer, you're acting for people, and really what they really want is to be able to have their say.
That's right.
They want to have, a lot of criminals
Correct.
that what they want to say is like admit the offence, but they want to give their reasons for why they did that at the time. They want to have the say, they want to be heard.
Correct.
Now I imagine that's the same thing for politics.
Very much so. In Northland especially, we have got some very, very passionate people up here in Northland. And the big thing from a lot of them is they do feel as though the central government's not listening to them, or local government's not listening to them. So this is about making sure their voice is heard when these changes take place.
Right. Well explained. Speaking of passionate, you come across to me as a very passionate guy for Northland.
Absolutely.
And in fact,
100%.
yes, well done. I can sense that passion. I also saw it, of course, in some Facebook material that you put out, I think before your election.
Yes.
And you were visiting, I think it was a new Chinese restaurant here.
Yep.
And if I recall, you may have been interviewing the owners.
Yes, correct.
And I could see the passion in what you were selling. You were selling Northland. You were selling, is that restaurant in Whangarei?
It is indeed. It's down near the waterfront in Whangarei. It's actually a great little restaurant.
Well,
we've got a lot of beautiful restaurants.
I'm going to check it out after the interview. Please give me the details, because I'd love to check that before I head back over the ditch. But during that interview, I sort of sensed that you are from here. Like you love the place. And I did a little bit of research on you too. And I saw that you're born and bred here.
Absolutely.
That is amazing. I mean, in New Zealand, for a lot of people overseas, New Zealand has changed a lot. I came here at the age of 4.
Right.
And I grew up my first 10 years on North Shore, New Zealand, Castor Bay.
Yeah.
And then from there, I went over to Epsom.
Yep.
And I finished my preliminary education, I say, over there.
Yep.
Worked here as a lawyer for a while, and then I went overseas. And after that, I didn't come back for a while. I was in and out of the country, but never really felt the same as it was when I'd left. Now, I left in 1990, early 90s. I came back around late 90s, and it had changed incredibly. Auckland had changed so much, it's just incredible, right? Now, I sensed that change in Northland when I came back and started having a look around here about 6 months ago.
Yeah.
The growth.
Absolutely.
How do you feel about the growth?
I love it.
Yeah.
I really do. The big thing about Northland and Whangarei itself, the largest metropolitan city north of Auckland, we have approximately 105,000 people for the whole of our district. Around about 60% of those people live in the city.
Right.
Around 40% live in the rural areas.
Right.
You can drive approximately an hour north and you'll still be at the boundary of Whangarei.
Yes.
And Kaikoura, of course, is an hour north of Whangarei, and Kaikoura is in the far north.
Yes.
Far north, they have 70,000 people. For the whole of the far north. Now, the whole of Northland as a whole, which is Kaipara, far north, and Whangarei, you basically is 4.5 times the size, the geographical size of Auckland.
Well, there you go.
So when people say Northland is growing, Northland is growing. We've got 200,000 people for the whole of Northland at the moment, actually slightly above that. I love seeing new people come to Whangarei. I love seeing people coming from different countries. There's a citizenship ceremony this coming Friday, and again, you'll have many, many people from other countries choosing New Zealand, choosing Northland as their home.
Isn't that wonderful? Yeah. It is such a beautiful area. There are so many bays in this area. My gosh, one could go to a different bay every week.
Yep.
And
still not do them through the whole year.
Get an absolutely fantastic experience.
Yep.
And it's not only the swimming, it's also the trekking. There's so many beautiful walks around here. And in terms of, I'm always thinking about money, right? That's me. I'm a businessman. I'm an entrepreneur, okay? So I'm always thinking about cost effectiveness.
Yes.
And it's just so, in terms of costs, to be able to actually visit all those bays because of the proximity and everything. And other cities in many countries in the world, including this one, it's actually very difficult now for a family to, in fact, spend the Christmas holidays or something and really explore. It just gets too expensive.
It does.
So again, that's something I've noticed here. Things are right the way they are now.
Yep.
Just really, it sings of great family atmosphere, a real place to bring up family.
Correct.
What are the schools like here? I mean, you went here, so I imagine they're pretty good.
I find the schools great. Look, I will always say the schools come down to the teachers.
Right.
How good your teacher is.
Yes.
And depending on how the relationship which the student and the teacher have, depends on how the kids are going to go. Look, I had, I'd call an average upbringing. Went to a decile 1-2 school for my primary years. That was a great time. I had it, and then I went from there to a Christian school and then to Pompellier College. So for me personally, I found it was great.
You're still here.
I'm still here. And there's a lot of my other friends who are from Pompellier College who are still here in Whangarei as well, who have gone on to do things. I've still got friends who are at primary school that I went to who still live here as well.
That's wonderful. So that says a lot.
Yeah.
That says a lot.
It's Whangarei it's a beautiful spot. There is a lot of people who love to travel. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of people who love to travel. And people forget that to travel from Whangarei to the Cape, which is right at the top, it's 4 hours.
Okay, so it's a wonderful driving experience.
Yeah. Well, if you love our roads.
Yeah, well, if you like driving.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and of course, the roads are improving a lot.
Very much so.
I remember back in 1987, when I was at university, a group of friends and I took a drive to Russell.
Yep.
And it was a wonderful drive, but we were late, and we had to take one of the roads that were off the main highway to get there.
Yes.
And I didn't realize, and everything went well. We drove well in the middle of the night and everything, no problems. But when I got back, my father, who was a sitting judge in those days, said, do you know that that's one of the 2 roads in the North Island that's uninsurable? If you go and check your policy. And he was right. Yeah, so I think those kind of things, maybe, the improvements.
Well, see, I grew up in Northland, as you said, and I remember regularly driving between Auckland and Whangarei, or Whangarei and Auckland, with my father, and they were gravel roads.
Yes. Yes.
So it's changed immensely since then. Now we have a bit of tar seal and hopefully that 4-laning, which we've been advocating for.
Yes, that's right.
Will be started shortly.
So that occurs to me that when I look around here, and as you know, I travel a lot, and when I came here a few months ago, to me it seems as if a lot of money has been spent on infrastructure. There are a lot of monuments around, a lot of nice, high-quality, like gyms for children to play on, the public to look at, and all that kind of thing. There was an interesting clock mechanism that I saw.
The ball clock?
Just really interesting things. And again, to me, I was thinking, well, whoever runs this place is actually spending some money on it.
A lot of those features that you talk about are actually being sponsored by community groups.
Well, isn't that fantastic?
So the ball clock down at the town basin there was actually put together both by the Lions and the Rotary Club, plus by other organisations around Whangarei. The stainless steel was all done locally. It was stainless steel, one of suppliers.
Yes.
It was all done as a local project. Now, that is the largest ball clock in the Southern Hemisphere. Now, it might be the world, but I do know it's the largest in the Southern Hemisphere.
Okay.
Why the ball clock? Well, we've actually got what we call the Clapham Clocks Museum. That's all in the same area.
Right.
And this is a gentleman who had a whole pile of clocks, and he gifted it to council.
Fantastic.
So we have all these different varieties of clocks, plus we have the largest sundial, all in that one location. And it's all about telling time.
How brilliant. And again, what does it say about the community here?
Well, they're a very giving community. They
Yes.
really are.
Yes.
When I started out, we were doing a lot of volunteer work. We had, when we had the rugby matches, the Tri-Nation rugby matches, and we also had all the other rugby matches happening.
Brilliant.
Whangarei managed to get a lot of the events happening here at our new stadium, and we had more volunteers up here than Auckland could provide. So we were actually ending up shipping volunteers to Auckland to help out the Aucklanders.
Fantastic.
And this just shows you what Northlanders are very keen to do.
Yes, yes. And you're obviously very supportive of that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What's the housing situation like here?
Housing, well, a general house will cost you in Whangarei between 4 and I would say you can go as high as 2 to 3 million, but $400,000 you can get a basic house for.
Yes.
It does vary on the area you
Yes,
can
of
get
course.
it. Yeah.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, you're dealing with schools, and a lot of people like to be close to schools.
Yes.
So housing-wise, there is there a short supply of housing? No, I would say there's not a short supply of housing. There is a housing need.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Throughout the country.
Throughout the country.
Yes.
But I wouldn't say there's a short supply of
Right.
housing. There is a lot of people who are moving and transitioning.
Yes.
Like we have a lot of the older houses,
Yes.
which are being sold because a lot of those residents are moving into some of the retirement villages.
Right.
So those houses are becoming vacant.
Okay.
So there's a lot of housing situations within Whangarei.
Brilliant. And what about the local economy?
Yeah, look, I think through the whole of New Zealand, one of the things I've found living in Northland is they talk about Auckland and they talk about Wellington and how things are depressed, and Northland, we don't feel that as much.
Wow.
When COVID
Yes.
happened, they shut down Auckland, and we were going, well, we're not part of Auckland, why shut us down?
Right.
So Northland just kept doing its own thing.
So it's sort of got its like local economy.
Yeah, local or microclimate economy.
Yeah. And one that's got capacity for growth.
Absolutely. Always got capacity for growth. We've got the largest growers market in New Zealand here, based in Whangarei, every Saturday morning.
Brilliant. Just tell me briefly, what time does that start?
It starts at 6 o'clock in the
That
morning.
starts at 6 o'clock on Saturday mornings.
And Saturday mornings,
in
it
Whangarei.
goes through to 10 o'clock.
Fantastic. That's good.
And it is a true growers market.
Brilliant.
Not like you have
Yeah.
a lot of produce. This is actually pure growers market.
Yes. Excellent. Now, again, speaking of passion, I feel that passion when you talk to me about that. You like gardening?
I'm not really a gardener, I'll be honest. I grow grapevines.
Okay.
And I
you grow grapevines.
I grow
Wow, okay. All right. That's got something to do with your Italian heritage,
That would
for
be
sure,
correct,
right?
yes.
Fantastic. So, getting back to Whangarei, so the local economy is good?
Yeah. Look, it always will be different to Auckland, though.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And I know that a lot of people in Auckland, they sort of say, oh, the shops are closing, and it's getting quite hard. In Northland, we have a real passion to work with local people.
Yes.
So there is a lot of people out there who will go,
Yes.
okay, look, I'm going to go shop at that shop because they're a local person.
Massive.
So there is a big support for other
Yes.
local people.
Excellent.
That doesn't mean that places like the Warehouse and big corporate organisations...
They're here like everywhere.
Unfortunately,
throughout the
they're
country.
through the whole country.
Absolutely.
And Whether they're good or bad,
Yeah.
they're there.
Fortunately, we can't take away the bays.
No.
No one can take them away. And what's the fishing like?
Look, fishing, my goodness, everyone loves fishing in Northland. I personally,
I love
I'm not a
fishing.
fisher.
Okay.
I let my next door neighbour go and do the fishing.
Right, okay, but that's certainly against the tide of around here because everyone's fishing mad, and I can see why. The bays are just amazing.
It doesn't matter which
Right.
coast you go to, you can
Yeah,
go
just-
and it's beautiful fish.
Brilliant, brilliant. So you don't do a lot of that yourself, though?
No,
Probably
I-
haven't got the time.
I prefer to give that to everybody else to do.
Yeah.
I've got loads of mates who
Yeah.
love fishing, and they go out fishing every opportunity.
Yep. So you're a local businessman?
Yes.
And just tell me briefly about your own business.
Well, I've been running my own business of IT business for 25 years. I started out writing software and doing a lot of database implementation, and then moved into repairing. So most of the stuff I do nowadays is about getting people with the latest technology, learning how to use the latest technology, and at the same time fixing up the issues that we as users always cause.
Okay, that's good. So again, there's a need out there,
Yes,
and you're providing a service to fulfill that.
that's right.
Fantastic. And so the big question for me is,
Yeah.
and you may not have had time to debrief about the recent election and everything and what your plans are, but what are you thinking at this stage?
Look, I am actually leaving that up to the will.
Okay.
I have a lot of things that I love to do, and politics has always been one of those. It's not necessarily politics as such, but it's more about making sure that our community is heard. That to me is a number one key thing.
Absolutely. Same with me. We're on the same track there.
So being involved in local politics or being involved in central politics, at the end of the day, I will leave that over to the will of the people.
Great.
And if they want me to be there, then I will be there. If they want me to be running an IT business, I will be running an IT business along with doing all my other community work that I do.
Well, I think that's just absolutely fantastic. And I also, you mentioned you went to a Christian school.
I did.
I'm a Christian.
Cool, awesome.
I wasn't always a Christian, okay? I certainly am now.
Yeah.
And anyway, that's part of my story. But part of the Christian process is, to me anyway, to serve your community.
Absolutely.
Once especially from a business point of view, you get to a stage where your interests can only take you so far in terms of fulfilling your heart.
Yep.
And it's really good to be able to, as you say, to be able to represent the people in something. Yeah. And you're representing the people in a lot of things. And me personally, I hope to see that you run again.
Not a problem. Thank you very much for that.
You come across to me as certainly a fighter.
Yep.
And someone who has the ability to effectively do what you want. And providing you keep that purpose a good, beneficial one, you've got me on side anytime.
Not a problem.
Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me, to meet
All
with
good.
me.
Happy to do
I
that.
really appreciate it, and all the best for your future.
Brilliant. Thank you very much.
Right. This is Vinay Deobhakta. That was Vince, the Prince, Cocurullo. And watch this space with this guy. His name actually means, if I recall, it means like victor and sovereign. And I'm all for that. Thank you, Vince.
Not a problem. All good.